Okay, so my smart charger failed, and I'm kind of glad it did because I absolutely hate it. I need to start the vehicle, and I don't care about protecting the batteries, and it keeps dropping the voltage. So anyway, it failed. I just looked inside, and no wonder it failed. It's got aluminum winding instead of copper, so a lot of things going that way these days. But anyway, so I got this PowerMax charging unit out of a friend who had a trailer, and this was the 12-volt power for the trailer, and the trailer scrapped. It just got so old, and this is not a very old unit. So I salvaged this from it before he sent the rest of it off to scrap metal. And this is it's 100 amp. I wish it was 200 amp, but it's 100 amp, 13.6 volts. I think this came from Amazon. I replaced the one that was in the trailer that had failed, which was there for years and years and years. So it was much heavier than this thing. Although this is pretty heavy. It probably is copper in it. And so I haven't looked. So anyway, we'll just make sure it works first. I'm going to use this to charge. I got a couple of automotive batteries here that need charging, and my charger failed. So I got this thing plugged into my little shed here, and I got some sawmill equipment and some wood trucks and this and that, and some loaders, and I always have lots of batteries that need charging. So red to red, black to black. I'm sure you guys don't need any help figuring that out. And well, we know. Turn this over to DC volts would work better. And so anyway, make sure it's on DC volts, your voltmeter, not AC volts, which I just did. And so 14.66, that's good. 14.65. So it's putting in the voltage. I don't have an amp meter on this, but well, a little green light came on, so I guess that was a good sign right off the bat. So what I'm going to do is I've got a couple of cables that I'll use this for the ground. Whoops, bang out. So what I'm going to do is I got another end here that I'm going to put I got a battery clamp end here somewhere in this damn mess. So probably by the end of the day or tomorrow I'm going to have to clean this up. It's getting ridiculous. Okay, so here's a brand new positive end, or it doesn't make any difference. This will just be positive because it's red. And this one will be negative because it's not. And this is off of actually off of this welding machine, and I had a better clamp with longer wire, so this is just being repurposed. And so what I'm going to do is find some solder. I don't have any up here. I'm going to go get some solder, and we'll tin the ends of this, and we'll get a wire for this here. We'll tin it, and we'll put this together, and we'll make a mobile battery charger. Doesn't look like it'll take much weather, but I'll make a mobile battery charger, 100 amp. So I'll just go get some solder, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I was going to tin these with solder and do a nice job, but that'll have to wait because all I have is solid solder with no rosin core, and I can't find any solder paste. And I kind of remember using it all here a while back. So what I'm going to have to do is I need this to work now, so that's going to have to go by the wayside. So I'll just mechanically clamp this on here. This bolts in here, and we'll put the ends in here. So I'll just here, squeeze this on here. Hold on. Okay, so I'm sorry I had to do it off camera. I just couldn't hold it at the same time, but I'm not going to fold these over because I'm going to solder this later, and then I'll fold this over. So for right now, just to do what I'm doing today, I crimp this over, and I just put it in the vise and put a bunch of pressure on it and squat it. So now that goes inside here, and this here normally would go down through here, this wire, okay, and hold it in place there. Slide down through there, kind of. This is very easy to do when you're not filming. I got to get a better setup for this. Okay, or recording. Nobody uses film anymore. So anyway, that goes in there like that. Okay, just slide that in there. And then the screw goes through the outside, and actually you hold the copper piece up and it should screw into that copper piece, or that piece of copper. And put it in there fairly snug. Now I got a clean connection in there. I already give it a little scratch. Okay, so now that end is there. So now I have a positive end. So back to the charging unit. So I just need this damn truck started right now. I've got work to do. I don't really even have time for this video, but we're going to make time, I guess. And so I'm just going to twist the end of the copper up here. And that's the positive one I just made. And so it goes, positive is red, goes in the red hole. Black screwdriver, screw it in. Now these units are supposed to be, if the load protected, so that are fused back here, and also if you touch the positive to the negative or the negative to the positive, this is supposed to just shut down. And I guess the only way to find out if it actually works is to do it, but we won't be doing that. So here's the negative side, and put that in the negative hole, negative lug, wire lug, and do the same thing. Just tighten it down snug. Now the batteries in the truck are only about 1.5 years old, but the truck's been off for about 1 year, and so what I did was, okay, so that's attached. So we can take all that there now, pick up that wire. We'll have to bring an extension cord out. I had the positive wires considerably longer than negative, but I just used the copper wire I had, and I didn't see any need to cut it right now until I see how much I like this setup. I can see that this power supply is going to need a plug in here pretty soon, because it's a little rough. Obviously overheated. So I used to have some better battery testing stuff, but we had a flood here last year and the electronic battery tester got destroyed. So right now we're using a old-fashioned load tester, which I know doesn't test all aspects of the battery, but this battery has water in it. It's full, and positive to positive. Negative to negative, and you'll see that we have just over 8 volts, and it's reading bad. And if you press the load button here, bing. So if I have to buy another, it says Canada proof, but obviously that's nonsense. So, and I have the same thing going on with this Magnum Power battery. So we're going to charge them, hook up this charger and see if we're actually getting voltage in here. So negative to negative, and not so worried if that's shielded or not, because it's negative, although we don't want it to touch this positive clamp. We'll just lean that the other way, should be fine. Okay, so there, now that's all hooked up. So now what we'll do is we'll get, of course the cord on that unit is not, oh, okay. You'd be hard pressed to believe that 3 days ago this place was very organized. Make a big mess, clean up. Make a big mess, clean up. Story of my life. Okay, so take this unit, plug it in. Wow, okay. Maybe a body cam would work better. This is a pain in the ass. Okay, so we're plugged in there. We're plugged in here. Do we have a green light? I can't really tell. Yes, we do. Yeah, that's a green light. Okay, so what we will do, trying to get this Ford running, is we'll have to, while this is charging, I gotta change a belt on my Volkswagen, and then probably gonna clean this damn shed. So 12 volt. Okay, set it to 20 and 12 volt scale. And we'll just make sure that there's actually voltage going into this battery. So positive, negative, and there is 14.55, which is good. 13.6 to 14.5 is what I'm looking for. So this battery charger is supposed to, I looked it up here earlier, is supposed to be, see there's, it says provided with, that's a funny way to say that. Okay, provided with integral protection against overloads. Avec protection intégrée, anyway, surcharge. So French and English, Canada. So, this is supposed to charge at 100 amps, and then as it's supposed to be intelligent enough that as this battery becomes more charged, this is supposed to eventually drop out. It's a smart charger. It's not supposed to be as smart as the battery booster I was using. I don't know exactly what that means. But the gist of it is supposedly it's supposed to put out 100 amps longer and not be as fussy about dropping it because of how it's wired inside. I don't know that for sure. That's just what I'm being told. When I started doing mechanical work, we had a battery charger. We set it on 200 amps and it stayed on 200 amps until everything melted unless you turned it off. Or you put a timer on. And a lot of guys turned the timer out, put the timer burnt out, took the timer out, put an on-off switch, and it just stayed on 200 amps or stayed on 100 amps or whatever. Schneider, and the things weighed a ton, and they just hummed in the corner like they were going to burn. And when your battery started to smoke, the machine would start. So at minus 30, nobody cares about batteries. They just want it to start. And I'm in the same boat with this here now. I'm doing some work here on this 95 F250. And so I'm just about ready to put in the new, some asshole put in, well, you can see what they did. Anybody who knows what a body mount on a Ford F250 can see what they did. And it's just a mess. And they got a socket in there and that's coming out. So I've got the seat out and I've got the floor repaired and a new rail put in, and we're priming it there now, and I have a new body mount right there. So new park brake cables, new few things, new ball joints, and this should be ready to get back on the road. So yeah, but one of the things I need to be able to start it and do a couple of checks while I'm doing the rest of it. So hence the need to boost it and see if I can get it going, and thus the reason I'm making a charger today, because I don't have time to go get one. So anyway, if you need a battery charger for a vehicle or for any purpose, and well, you can get one on Amazon, fairly affordable, and or out of if you have somebody or a scrapyard around that has an old trailer in it, you can get these power supplies out of them, and power converter is what it is what they call it for the trailers, but it's a 12 volt power supply, and that they put in trailers, motorhomes and that sort of thing to run to 12 volt. A lot of lighting and a lot of things in there are 12 volt. The fridges usually, a lot of them run 12 volt, 120 or propane. And so because there's only 2 to 4 batteries on those things, they don't last long enough unless you have a 12-volt supply when you're at the camp plugged in, unless your vehicle's running. So this is what does that. So a lot of things you can get these out of them for free. I got this one for free. It seems to work. It's in good shape. So we'll do a little bit of charging with it, and I'll let you know how it worked for me. Okay, so the charger's been going on this about an hour or so, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. I don't know exactly. I didn't time it, but about that, because it's lunchtime, close to it. So what we'll do is well, we'll disconnect this. I guess what I could do is just put it over on the other battery, because these are disconnected from one another, and the other battery is going to need the same charge. And so there, oh, sparking, so something's happening. Need to get a better negative clamp. That one's too bare. I don't like it. So okay, so let's see what we got here. Take our load tester and positive and negative. Oh, well, we have 12 plus volts, 12.5 volts. So we'll hit the load button for 10 seconds. 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000, 5 1000, 6 1000, 7 1000, 8 1000, 9 1000, 10 1000. Release the button. Just above 12. Whoops, that popped off. Back up just above 12. So that's good.